Alright, everybody, welcome back to the Pale Beyond. And, here we are, week 4, Temperance Camp. Let's continue. Love playing this game. Alright. Templeton slips in through the door. Shawl. Still no sign of Hunt? I'm afraid not. Hunt is still missing. Rufus Hunt is missing. And he isn't alone in that regard. Sanders, Sparrow, and Grin are also unaccounted for. They're all missing. As is a sizable food and fuel rations, and one of the larger lifeboats. Sure, you and I are not naive. It seems quite clear what happened here. How's the rest of the crew? They're confused, scared. The phone captain's no longer with us. You understand what that means, Shaw? I would care for you to enlighten me? A new captain must be selected by the crew. As first mate, you have a clear argument to take the role. I would have expected the role to be inherited. Not quite. They'll hold a vote as soon as possible. The carpenter grimly. He's still loyal to Hunt, as many of the sailors will follow his vote, if not all. But I can assure you how the votes are myself and the scientist. Kurt and his crew are likely to support you as well. I'm unsure whether the engineers will side, and are likely loyal to their pay. John is still recovering from the steam burns, which may end up working in our favor. And the civilians are a mystery, but I believe that's all said and done, just about make the vote. Just about. My only competition could be dead for all we know. Loyalty runs deep among this lot. They're waiting outside, Shaw. They're scared. They don't know where to turn. You and I both understand the importance of maintaining decorum. The time seems dire, remember. There is a rescue ship on the way. Even if Temperance fails, we still have a potential escape. 35 weeks. The ship will arrive at Viscount Island in 35 weeks from now. We should focus on surviving that long. That's all we need to do, Captain. I understand we'll just have to hold out for that long. Indeed. That is all we need. Another 35 weeks, Captain. Keep it in mind. Here, you should have this. Templeton presents you with a fancy-looking hat. Hunt's hat. He left it behind in his cabin. That tells us what it needs, doesn't it? How about you? Do you wish to be Captain? No, we're gonna take the hat. The commotion outside grows. I choose to willfully observe reality. I suggest you do the same, Captain. The scientist refrains for a moment. Outfit Templeton. I think it's best to be declared Captain Hunt and the crew are missing and dead. There's no need for us to complicate things any farther. I won't lie to them, Templeton. Leaders lie. Get used to it. The crew are waiting for you on deck. Alright, we're about to get into the real game. Which I say this every episode, but if you do want to buy this game, you've seen probably enough of it already. The game gets harder as you go on forwards. More crew get frostbite, wounded, scurvy, things like that. You'll start running out of fuel and food. Dog management's very important. Decorum. Scientists can't go on expeditions. Things like that. So yeah, if you are looking to buy the game and play it, I recommend you do that now. Instead of waiting to see how this plays out, because again, the best part of this game is the story. So if you're just watching, you haven't bought the game, you didn't. But if you don't want to play it, just continue watching. But if you do, then don't watch anymore. Such voices become more distant as you make your way back out into the open air. You notice the absence of John. The crew members notice you and stop. Their attention ripples across the desk. They're not the desk, the deck. Attention. It should be clear by now that Captain Hunt is no longer serving his post. As such, we shall vote in the new captain. I nominate Officer Shaw for the role. A clear choice as first mate. And what of Hunt? I don't see him among us, do you? Don't see a body either. He's still out there. We don't know what happened. Something we can discover. For now, someone has to take the reins of command. All in favor for Officer Shaw. Yep, John is... two Johns counts. Richard Templeton is loyal to me, of course. And then we're gonna finally get into the loyalty system, which is my favorite. Arthur Nutley is loyal to me at default, so is Kurt. There's a lot of characters that start loyal to you, which is nice. Gilmy Stokes is loyal to Hunt, though. A little annoying, but it's only 4 votes. Junior also has 5 votes. They each have 5 votes. Right, Clive, loyal to themselves. So, abstain. Cordell's loyal to herself, so abstain. And then Kasha's gonna vote for me because I'm the obvious choice. I'm the only one here. Instead of me or someone who's not here, who could be dead for all they know. I win by 1 vote. You've been confirmed as captain of this expedition. Well, the ayes have it. She'll also be acting captain from this point forwards. Acting captain in Hunt's stead. The crowd looks at you expecting as Templeton gives you an annoying nod. A moment passes and the calls await your next words. Wait for them to quiet down. As I look at you, it's not long before the obvious questions spill from the crew members' mouths. Where's Captain Hunt? Captain Hunt abandoned us. Notice Templeton's eyes widen and whispers begin to roll throughout the crowd. He appears to have left this expedition along with this note. If anyone knows anything, come forwards. A silence hangs in the air. Does anyone take issue with me taking charge? A morbid silence hangs. Nobody speaks in protest. Good, the less infighting we have to deal with, the better our chances of survival. The crowd begins to bubble up once more. More questions coming to the surface. Members of the crew start speaking out one by one if their questions thrown in quick succession. How are we supposed to survive out here? Is help coming? What about our pay? Will we still be paid? Our immediate priority is to find additional food. Current supplies will take because so far trapped in the ice. Ask for reports. I'd like a head of each station to report for me going forwards. I know this isn't what you signed up for. Stick with me and I'll see us through it. What of those lost, Captain? A memorial service will be held once the ship is free from ice. Understood. Well, you heard the captain. Get to it. The crowd disperses, return to their roles aboard the ship. You pass Templeton. He glares at you. Ignore him. He departs. I'm pretty sure if we talk to him there, actually, remember correctly from last time, we actually lose a bit of loyalty with him. So as you see, we have where he's barely loyal to us. Junior's sort of, he's okay with us. Grimly just hates us. Kurt's completely loyal. Cordell's not at all. Arthur's barely, and Kasha's just a little bit more. And Hammond's almost loyal to us as well. Alright, Kurt. Shaw! Or should I say, Captain Shaw. That Hunt. He didn't seem the type to just leave his crew behind. Still, no good dwindling. I have confidence you'll take up the mantle well. Do you have any experience leading expeditions? I never captained a vessel, if that's what you mean. But the navigator has just as much responsibility to lead. In that sense, I have plenty. There are currently no fish to feed the dogs. I suppose congratulations are in order. I'd hope you prepared for the task at hand, Captain Shaw. You can see Hunt last night. If I had, I would have said as much. Though we're to wager, I'm certain someone aboard the ship has. It's likely that 4 were able to leave a landlocked ship without being spotted. Alright, well, we're actually gonna go below... No, actually, what you always want to do first is you want to take requests. You never want to do anything else first. You want to take requests, because a lot of times you do not want to spend crew before this. There should be no hesitation, Shaw. You're the captain now and you must carry that authority instantly. It's best we carry out the daily routine as normal. Show that you are capable in this role. We should take the day's request immediately before seeing to our resources. He's right. Hunt's ledger is gone. Last place you saw Captain Hunt. There's still drops of whiskey, frozen. You saw the duties of captain firsthand while saving Hunt. You're acting captain now. It's time you take up the mantle. A line is already formed at the door, no surprise, given the circumstances. Take it as you may, Captain. Alright, I'll take Hammond first. Sleep on the boiler was only the start of my troubles. Have you seen the state of this bloody ship? It certainly has seen better days. She's bleeding in the lower decks. I believe the older Stoke is attempting to rectify that. We need to stockpile as much fuel as we can. If the furnace runs out by the end of the week, we die. If we spend too long on the ship, we die. If we don't stockpile enough fuel for winter, we die? Aye. Give me some coal, get it in the furnace. I'm afraid it's not long. The coal bunkers are our only source of fuel, for the time being. Until we can produce alternatives, we should assign crew to traveling whenever possible. Right, Junior. Sure. Yes, looks on budging, doesn't it? You'd see it that way, yes. Crew seems to think so. I think if we don't intervene, Temperance will never get freed. We're suggesting breaking the ice to show you that won't work. I'm not. They are. No intervention is going to break up the ice enough to free the ship. Putting others to work is simply a waste of manpower. Maybe. They're still scared though. Worried. They just want to feel like they tried something. If it'll raise spirits, it's worth an attempt. Now, how many people do we need for this? 3 to 5. 1, 2, 3. And then we still have 4 for food. And 4 for... Okay, yeah, that's fine. Runsta, Runt, Ward, and... I think I'm putting Ward in there. He doesn't have enough arms. Let's just figure out who we're going to send in there. Let's get Cavity, let's get Gnomes, let's get Lefty, and let's get Tucker. Actually, that's 3 already. To raise spirits is worth an attempt. Now, we did lose Richard Templeton's loyalty, but we gained Junior's loyalty, which is a little bit more important. We'll have chances later to gain his back. Agreed. I'll see you for dinner, Shaw. Don't forget the hoosh post needs fed. Curtin Cordell. Captain of both the kennel master of me. This is something you'll both want to hear. I have a strong suspicion what the matter is. I was planning to speak with the captain on it myself. Fortunately, something then. Captain, I know these conditions well. I've seen them before. Any idea of the Temperance being freed from the ice anytime soon is a pipe dream. We need to press on. We need to become aware of our new environment. Trust me, Captain. We'll still be living off it for quite some time. And what of you, Cordell? Do you agree? Indeed. The dog sleds will need to be exercised regularly, and there's no better way than to engage in hunting. We're quite lucky despite the circumstances. Now's the peak time for hunting and navigation. Traveling the ice may be possible in the future. We need to be prepared for that. If we're to survive out here, we need to know what lies ahead. These are uncharted territories, Captain. We have no idea where we are. Your current rations are not set to last forever either. Send any hunting parties to me as you please. My dogs and I will ensure the survival. Cordell exits. The same sentiment for myself and any scouting team. If you wish the great unknown to be braved and charted, I am your man. You need to know what lies ahead. Keep looking forwards. Finish your quest. Yeah, well, it's more important to get Junior's loyalty right now than it is to get Templeton's. We'll get it back soon. Before dinner, you should see to sending out our first sledding man team. I also believe it's time to visit English. I can't speak it now. I don't have anything to drink, actually. Let me go get that and cut this part out. I'll just remember. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow me in Rumble, in case I haven't already said that. Alright. I also believe it's time you paid the good doctor a visit. You still have wounded from last night on the Aurora. Their wounds will need to be attended before they're fit to work. And I doubt I need to remind you of this, but we need every hand available. Don't be afraid of assigning them for some manual labor. They'll complain, but they'll work. We'll click settings, audio. a bit too loud. You did seem familiar. I finally... No, this is Mrs. Glossy. You did seem familiar. No, it's not. I don't have a voice for the glosses. You do seem familiar. I finally placed you. You have you? Yes, I remember seeing you compete. Soren Kepler. You were quite the gymnast. Surprised to see you here in this line of work. Well, not too many gymnasts carry long careers. You did quite well in Australian Summer Games. I recall you placed... I didn't recall winning. Alright, well first, I'm gonna send out some sledding teams. I want to, we'll scout to the right. You'll scout to the left. And... there is some seals here, which will be a quite good source, but I don't want people to get freezing right now. Then we'll scout up there. We get some normal penguins. They'll stay there for a little while. Shaw, or should I say Captain Shaw, right? I thought your name sounded familiar. I sailed the merchant line as well. I think we served the same ship a couple of times. You serve on many ships in the merchant navy. It's easy to miss a few faces. I only remember your name from some misfits. Still, small world. Good luck, Shoal. Well, that's nice, because that's not... that when you play as the criminal or as the admiral, that's not a thing. You don't have that interaction with Tugger, and this is too much. This game does glitch out every once in a while. We need to down the panning speed. As the game has glitched and made it way too fast, still. 2. Much better. We'll still pay the doctor a visit. You enter the ship's infirmary. Your presence seems to startle the young man inside. The route of dropping forceps ringing through the room. Oh, goodness, it's you. Captain, now. Is it? Captain Robin Shaw, it's good to meet you. Dr. Arthur, Nutley. Dr. Nutley. Dr. Arthur Nutley, that's it. It's good to meet you, Arthur. Lily gives a weak smile. Thank you, it's good to properly meet you. I suppose I seem a little scatterbrained at the moment. It isn't the norm. Recent circumstances have been trying, and the incantation towards seasickness is no help. John, the steam burn he suffered from the furnace are severe. Let me take a look and do my best to alleviate their pain. There's nothing more you can do? I'm trying, I wish there was, but there's no cure for these kind of injuries. I'm afraid it's all extent. At this point, all we can do is wait. Only lets out a nervous cough. Captain Hunt, do you think he still may be out there? There's a chance. However slim. Right. Perhaps we'll run into him again. No, that's ridiculous. Never mind. Apologies, I'm rambling. I suppose you want an update on the crew? A report would be nice. Most scrapes and scuffs. Asked for the dogs, or better asking... well... the kennel master. You mean Cordell? Yes, Cordell. I haven't taken well to dogs. I'm not sure how to care myself amongst most people. And animals are quicker to judge. And Cordell herself is harsher still. But you can rely on me for human medical issues. And he pauses for a moment. Is everything, good? I mean, is someone coming to rescue us? Everything's under control, and this will gain me loyalty, I think. He nods expectingly now. Lily keeps his head low. Anything I can do for the crew? Alright, the med bay. I've only ever seen one time, where the medical comforts were useful, and it's during winter. Alright. You lift the crate of tin cans from the shelves. Want 3 people on that. Time to get to work. And now we want to get tons of food out there and spend all our characters before we do one thing specifically. You. Scientists. Yeah, we only have 3 remaining crew who can't really do much, except I can actually assign a scientist here eventually. So it doesn't need to specifically be a scientist, just prefer. Officer, Captain Shaw. I suppose I should get used to calling you that. I was asking the crew if anyone had seen Hunt or any of the deserters last night. Not a single soul. The other man knows the ship well, but that seems odd. Why did you vote for me? Well, I thought it'd be obvious. The option for the vote were you or a man who wasn't present to lead. I see no reason not to vote for you. Alright, well. Let's throw some cans in the pot. We can throw in one more without wasting anything. You never want to waste in this game. It's the worst thing you can do. Now this is useful, as this will get rid of the flooded rooms in the lower deck completely, as you can open all of these doors here. Some of them are more useful than others, I admit. Goal goes in, we stay alive. Really simple. And then I think, yeah, put in one more as well, as we're at the same for both. 88. Now every now and then you want to use normal food rations and not normal coal rations, or the other way around. As long as you don't get someone freezing, it doesn't really matter. Call the crew for dinner. The crew have their meal. We should give a toast to our new captain. Here, here. Well, so there's just too many characters to do voices for them all, and I don't think I'm actually doing a good job with the voices, except for, Hammond's. This is easy. The crew return to their posts. The hammocks are unfurled in preparation for this evening. Despite the time, it's still bright outside. Evening, Shawl? I'm proud I would have been able to cook with the crew lately, considering the rations. But I do wish I had something better to work with. I'd kill for a good beef steak. You do excellent work, Junior. I've been told. I would say you couldn't eat a bite that wasn't prepared by me anymore. I should hit the hay, or well, the hammock, I guess. There might be hay in there. Looks like we'll be trapped here for a while. I don't like the ship's chances either. Will be some time before we see home. Shade, I'm gonna die of boredom out here before the cold takes me. We'll manage, I'm sure. So tired. You'll get used to it, lad. Don, it's far too much work. Thought you wanted work. If I can do it with one arm, you can do it. You're always saying that, Da. Alright, speak to Grimly. Do you need me for something? The crew seemed to like you. Want to get advice for staying on the good side. Puzzle with loyalty. Junior's better with people. I don't know. Be good to them. That's all it takes. Nah, not very, good advice, but it's not bad either. Bloody cold, isn't it, Captain? I don't know how you can spend your time away from the furnace. It'd be even colder without your hard work, Hammond. Hey, I know. Can't tend to the furnace of you yapping at me all night. Akasha should be in here, yeah, she is. Good evening, Captain. It's growing used to sleeping on a moving ship before we became trapped in the ice, you know. And I think I've won a good night's sleep until we return to land. Won't have a good night's sleep until we return to land. I think that's something we can all look forward to. Plus with loyalty. Good motivation, then. No hot bath and warm bed are first thing in order when we return to land. May stay bundled up for several days to truly savor it. Alright. That's all we can talk to people here and there. None of them have anything else to say. He stares at you before nodding to his hammock. He doesn't have anything else to say. Oh yeah, here's Zach and Mr. Kloss. Awfully loud, aren't they? I don't mind it all that much. They worked hard for a day. I'm not sure, just the glosses, I can't do the voices. That they should have. They're on their leisure. We sailors ought to remember we need our sleep. Alright, into Templeton's room. Templeton, I'm here to throw you off the ship because you annoy me. Good evening, Captain. It'll be some time before we see rescue. Perhaps you should be endearing yourself to the crew. Very well, Templeton, I'll spend more time with the sailors. Yeah, I guess a +5 loyalty. See, we gained it right back. That's why I did that, as it would be nice to send someone out, yes, but we don't need to. It'd be a good idea, Captain. As Junior's loyalty is a little harder to gain right now than Templeton's. Into Kurt's room. Look, the bed's almost as big as the room, and he's stuffing the shirt of someone else. Evening, Shaw. Cold one, isn't it? Used to think I was growing used to the cold, but as the years gone on, the elements have only grown harsher on my body. I've imagined this is a harsher than you ever faced. No, I'm sure you can handle it, Kurt. And you'd be right. I can still complain every now and then. No, there is something for some reason it wants me to do down here. I'm not sure why these are yellow. The forecastle. This is important. Captain Shaw, I presume you're here to see the dogs. Yes, how are they faring? They've already acclimated. Though recently, they've been exhausted and are in need of rest. It's no surprise. Our conditions keep changing. They've grown used to one state before being thrust to another. Ron refuses to eat and has been losing weight rapidly. I assume the change in scenery has affected it. They just need their rest as any person. They tend to be more reliable. So you prefer dogs to people? Is that unusual? I suppose it is in a way. They cannot be blamed for the judgment, surely. Captain Shaw, you recall my conditions of Captain Hunt, do you not? Like it was yesterday. I mean, it was yesterday for me, but for you it was 4 weeks. No, 3 weeks. But for me it was literally yesterday. My demand was that I work here with my dogs. Though people may help with the sleds, but they are not my responsibility. They are not my people. I'm holding up my promise with Hunt. I do not intend to join your crew. Dog beside her barks. That dog, does it have a name? This is Stanberry. Bark. If I get lost in the ice, you're the next Captain Stanberry. Woof. Cordo smiles, confused. Now whatever you do, do not give Stanberry the captain's hat. As much as you might want to, it's not worth it. You lose 20 loyalty with Grimly. But at the end, if you can give him the hat, you'll gain 20 loyalty of either Grimly or Junior. Which you should give it to Grimly, as his loyalty is way harder to gain. But yeah, that's all we can do out here. There's nothing more we can send. Actually, I could have sent someone here for 3 decorum and some research, but I'd rather do it when I have more scientists. Same thing for here, I'd also prefer to have weapons by then. But let's progress to the next week in this lovely game. Alright. So, we cured of... yeah, but we can do this. Now, here's how it works. If we go... but you have to push W to do this, I'm not sure why. And sometimes you have to push A and D. So, as you see, if you do none here, you lose loyalty. So now, starvation, 1 crew member will become malnourished. That's not bad. But, for right now, half fuel rations, and normal food is good. As people will be cured, but since nobody has anything, it just stays normal. We only lose 10 decorum, but we need to save as much of everything as we can without anyone getting sick. Because we still need them to work. Yeah, and 2 Jones have been cured of his wounds, so that's good. Alright, week 5. I love that sound in between. Reminds me of Dredge in a way. Ah, that was a good game. It was a bloody good game. Now, currently we're in the first part of the day, and I think there's special interactions sometimes. Cordell. My dogs grow restless. They have grown used to the story against the waves of the ship. Not what she said at all. Look, we're used to it in turn. Indeed they will. The pack adapts. Can the same be said for us? No. Not at all. Humans can't adapt to anything. People always say, oh, humans are great at adapting, but really, I don't see it. It's my room. And everybody's asleep down here, but let's just real quick grab 10 food. Now again, do not do anything till you've done the other things. And we'll eventually want to open up these once I feel like I have enough 10 cans of food. Which, let me check how many I currently have. I have 2. Because 10 cans of food are a really good food source of 20. I want a few of those and I want to use other things for food, because that's my emergency food rations. Captain's cabin. Take quests. Alright, let's take gnomes first. we're on the crew, we might end up having to move to the ice. We can't free the Temperance anyway. It would be wise to gather what we can take off the ship with us if we do. Indeed, we'll need to prepare for what could be inevitable. Aye, most of the tools are in the lower deck storeroom. The metal doors need some work to open, but it's worth what's inside. Yes, now the ability to open those, and that will be useful in the future. Now, Mr. Gloss, Captain Shaw, Mr. Templeton. But it appears some of the crew have taken interest in the transmission radios we have on hand. It's likely many of the first time seeing this technology, as are their odd ideas of what it's capable of. They believe another ship may pick us up if we monitor them. Ridiculous. We do not have the range to pick up another here. I said as much, Mr. Turner. Mr. Turner was adamant we spend the night monitoring them regardless. Even sent me here to run the console by you. If it won't work, it's a waste of time. We should focus on more productive matters. Because I need these scientists for something a little later. Agreed. As fantastic as it sounds, technology just isn't there yet. Not from the crew. They likely won't be pleased, but it's a better alternative to wasting manpower. Caution, now this is good as well, because we gain the ability to get rid of demoralization. Now, bad thing about this is we can't use Turner today, versus tomorrow. If we get all 3 scientists to monitor the radio, we'll gain some decorum. But, unfortunately, we will gain a demoralized scientist. Now, I could have just used the scientist tomorrow and just done it today, but all 3 of them is far too much manpower to lose versus 1, and a little bit of loyalty of Grimley. Good day, Captain. Well, as good as it can be under these circumstances. Good day to you as well, Kasha. Well, I'll be sure to spare you any more obligated small talk from here. In truth, that's something I've been meaning to ask of you. It's better I brought up with Captain Hunt, though he was less just less receptive. I'm not merely interested in the story of this expedition, I'm interested in the story of the people on this expedition. When the crew have downtime, one requests to be allowed to conduct interviews with them. I'd like to know more about them. Maybe learn about what happened to Hunt. I see no issue in there. English, I see no issue there. Conduct interview as you please. Thank you, Captain. You won't regret it. I'll mark anything useful I discover in the crew manifest. Send them down to the Red Room in the lower deck when you can. And Junior, Shaw, Templeton, word back from the attempts of freeing the ship. Is such a report necessary? Well, as you can see, we're not moving. Could get that in for a week, but now we're calling it a day. Waste time and resources then, as expected. I wouldn't be so sure. End of the day, at least now the crew can say they tried. Give it their all. There's something in that. Finish a quest. I would have given up after a day if it didn't work. Alright, Templeton, what do you want? Question persists on how long the Temperance can hold. We will be able to wait out the ice. If there's any change by next week, abandoning the ship may be considered. You're going to abandon the ship as soon as possible, actually. Ah, feel the air. Nothing better than a cold wind to keep you awake. You're an old Doc York III. How many hours of sleep did you get at night? Well, on second thought, better not hearing it. I already know it isn't enough. Well, anyways, we have to go send out our scouting team is here. Now, I'm only going to send out 1. But not here. I want to go send out 1 here. Flick will do it. More penguins. Small ones. I prefer to hunt these. So let's get our scouts to go with you guys. Cavity, Runstock, Quinsley, and York III are marked down for the hunt next week. So we do not get the food today. We get it next week, as it would imply. Arthur doesn't have anything to say. Nowhere else to go but down. Assign sailors here. Time to get to work. Go downstairs. Now, we're not opening these yet. There's the weapons hold, food storage, scientist hold, general hold, and engineers. Now, this is useful. This is not as. This is useful. This is useful. General storage is kind of useful, but not really. I'll figure out when we have enough. Honestly, I probably could have just sent the scientists out, but you know me, I'm not entirely the brightest. I didn't really need them. Feed the furnace. 1 coal should be enough. Yeah, there we go. I don't want to waste 7. No, 3. Not gonna waste 3 coal. Get the hoosh pot. 2 there. Which we actually can't put in another one. For 98. You know what? We can hunt the rest. I'm fine with breaking into here. We do have the engineers we need to clear the bad stuff. Probably should have done the weapons hold first. Red room. Sign crew for interview. Who's demoralized? Turner. He joined the photographer. Okay. So we can enter in 2 of these. So engineer's hold will be good. Come with me, Isaac. You and Mr. Zach charge into the room. Water flooding in from behind. You only have time to grab 2 items. Now, coal is not really good here, as there's only 2 things of it. Digging tools and engineering tools. Now, you're freezing, and unfortunately here, a bit of water has managed to get into the pantry. The tinned rations are now spoiled. Scientist hold would be nice, but weapons hold's more important. We're actually going to have to go in here multiple times. You and Mr. Gloss charge into the room from the water flooding in from behind. You only have time to grab 2 items. Which, flares are nice. For fuel. Like, really nice. And this is also nice as well, the ale kegs. But we need both guns. The flares are lovely. Just absolutely bloody lovely. I would love to have them all the time. We can't. Might as well send both engineers on this. We can eventually get another one if we want, but I prefer another doctor. Now we do get 2. Healing of the freezing. Also, if we do want to open up the rooms again for a second time, we would want to do the pumps now, as for each room requires 1 sailor. Actually, no, just 1 of any crew member. But right now, I neither want to get back into the engineer's hold or this hold. I'd prefer to just go through the holds, as there's not really anything I need to go back in there for. We'll just call the crew for dinner. The crew have their meal. The dinner is shared. The crew return to their posts, the hammocks are unfurled in preparation for the evening. Which by the time, it's still bright outside. Junior. Evening! Thor took off, Grimma and I stopped into a greasy spoon in the city. Their sausages and eggs were perfect. Best I ever had. I'm trying to remember his damned name. It pushed my head. It's likely by the docks. Just look around once you return. You'll find it. If it's still there when we return, who knows when we'll be back? They could have closed down or fired the chef by then. It's getting harder to play. Cold makes your fingers stiff. Power through it for the crew's sake. I will. Alright. More of the same tonight. We'll have to get used to it. Not much you can do on the ice. We'll figure something out, won't we? We'll have to. You're pretty old, aren't you? Great lot. Better than mine. Why are you still working? You should be at home with your family. Don't have one. Do you not have any children? Might do. Don't know any, though. You know, as far as rations go, this is good. Junior sure knows how to prepare dinner, doesn't he? He's too good for this. Alright, now I think you have something to say. Yes, you do. Good evening, Captain. Is something you needed? Today's medical report. I have to prepare soon. Good to see you aren't losing focus, Arthur. Keep it up. Yeah, there you go, loyalty. Thank you, Captain. I'll try. Alright, that's all. I should finish cleaning my equipment. Alright, and now Kurt. Evening, Shaw. Been thinking about our pay once we return to land lately. Don't mistake me for the... I don't know how to say that word. Salt. But I do have expenses to pay. Before we departed, I received a letter from one of my daughters, asking to cover the cost of her stage school. It'd be a shame to promise a luxury only to retract it, don't you think? Do you not have any money left from your films? Of course, but I'll try to be more careful of my finances, Robin. Alright, Templeton. Captain, if you find yourself stricken with boredom, I do have a book I'd recommend. A textbook on different grasses and wildflowers. The topic is more interesting than I may assure you. I would enjoy that, Templeton. I'm sure you'll bring it... I will be sure to bring it to you when I have the chance then. Although we do leave the ship, we'll have to make sure it's the first thing we do of the day. The value spot Kurt, measuring any changes in the temperature. Still fast. No signs of any change. He notices you and gives you a wave. Y'all will be moving anytime soon, Captain. Of course, sometimes you just never know of the ice. You should get some rest. I'll let you know if anything changes. Thank you, Kurt. Just doing my duty. Take care, Captain. Templeton, here's something we have to do. Captain, the word. I felt now is a good time as any to review the wording in our contract. Do you remember what is written with your contract? Of course I do. Consider Article 3, and I quote, "The member of staff shall throughout the period of such expedition obey all commands of the captain and shall use his best endeavor to promote the success of the same." I'll continue. In the event of anything happening to the captain in any event of anything happening to the captain, shall obey all commands of any member of staff who shall be appointed by the captain in writing before his death. It being understood the rest of the staff hold the same relations towards any member of the staff so appointed as towards the captain, as appointed by the captain in writing before death. What are you trying to say? In real life, I'm much smarter to realize what's going on there. The vote we held is only a temporary agreement in the eyes of the law. Even then, you only made it through by a hair. If you somehow managed to wrestle a written transfer of captaincy from Hunt before his departure, in the eyes of the law, we will simply act in his stead with no legal recourse to call upon. There's a chance the Hunt and deserters are still out there. Should we be returned, your captaincy will indeed be called into question. I see. Templeton, why are you so invested in captaincy? Because it costs you 115,000 gold to buy a sloop. Invested in the survival of this mission and providing appropriate guidance. You may presume an ulterior motive, but you know my reasoning is sound. The loyalty of the crew means everything. Get them on your side, Shaw. Keep them on your side. I see. Thank you for bringing this to my attention, Templeton. Remember my words, Shaw. I suggest you start the Stoke Brothers. It seems they speak for many of the sailors. Well, that's all we can do here. Except for talk to Lady Cordell. Good evening, Captain. Will this take long? The dogs are fed and rested, however I dislike leaving them alone. You trained them well, there won't be any issue. That'd be my hope, but you can never be certain. Alright. So that's all we can do here. We might have been able to talk to Clive. I don't know. Wait, as from before, we're doing half rations. Same amount of food, though. Food is something you're going to pay way more than... Yeah, 4 caber seals, 16 crew now available. Another week in the ice, the ship shan't hold much longer. Slowly being crushed by the ice, pressure against the ship will eventually destroy it completely. You can only stay on here for about 9 weeks, then it just completely gets destroyed, and every week you stay on after here is really bad. But first, we mustn't let those go to waste. If you don't do this before you leave, you can't do it. Create a spoiled rations, and it causes malnutrition, but it's just the price we have to pay. Oh, and I do intend to get the stuff out of here before we leave. Enter the scientist hold with, not a sailor, Actually, we do need all the scientists ready. The scouts are something we do not need ready right now. You inflict charge into the room, the water flowing in from behind. You only have time to grab 2 items. Which do you want? What is it again? Yeah, research and story item. And medical tools. The rest is worthless to me. You're freezing, which is fine. Food storage is kind of useless. I think there's something I wanted in general storage, but I don't remember. York III. Yeah, digging tools is nice, and we need this timber. I mean, the ale kegs would be nice, but digging tools are just better. I mean, I could probably brave the freezing waters enough in real life. I'm not that weak. I could totally do that. Yeah, we have 2 members of freezing crew. Now, if I remember correctly, if we go to story items, we do have this. Increase security by 1. I could go in here, but it's useless to me right now. And there's no point in unflooding any of those. Just a waste of manpower as currently. Oh, but I do have to use a single engineer on, raising the heat. She needs fuel for the week. Ask engineers to raise heat. Ricky. Yep, healed both of them. You know, I know it's what it says that it heals too. But the thing is, I don't trust anything I read in video games. I'm like, yeah, it says it will, but what if it doesn't? Templeton, Kurt, Cordell, and Hammond stand inside at the beginnings of a meeting. Well, Captain, it's been 3 weeks. Kurt tells me there's still no change in the ice. None, and the best I can estimate. What changes we see won't free the ship. I predict the temperance is more likely to be crushed under the pressure of the ice. And how long will that take? A few weeks at most. Unfortunately, they may have to look to alternatives rather than waiting for the ice to break up. Such as? Leaving the temperance and... no, this is Templeton. Leaving the temperance and making camp on the ice is something we'll have to consider. The longer we stay on the ship, the more fuel we're having to burn. Not to mention risking another boiler incident. Yes, that matter almost costs lives. Heating a small camp burns much less oil. And without enough fuel to survive through the winter. And without enough fuel to survive a winter, we're dead. Don't think I need to tell you that, though. I would not be so quick to pack up and move out just yet. And why is that? The ship is safety. Currently, there's quite a few hunting options presented to us. We'll need to gather more food if we are to survive, and the ship is a safe area to hunt from. Right, and most of the crew aren't ready to give up either. They're stubborn, just as any good crew should be. I'd rather not play into stubbornness when lives are on the line. He has a point. Crew thinks we gave up too early, they'll resent the captain for it. Though we have a seriously bloody flooding problem. We do? Aye, you might have noticed that if you left the damn forecastle. It's safer to take time to gather what we need before we leave, rather than raid the ship once we make ice. Well, the answer lies with the captain. Should we move off the ice this week? Moving on to the ice, inform the crew. Very well, I will. It's time we left this forsaken ship. When we remove the boiler from the furnace, it's when we'll make our move. When you feel ready to go, just go down to the boiler room and give the order. First, requests need to be taken right now. It's far more useful. Cordell's is the first, so take the crew. Captain, our dogs appear to be struggling in the undecked kennels. Require a more secure form of shelter in this environment. Dog loos, I believe they're called. Yes, that requires some hands to work on constructing them. It's for the health and safety of the pack. I'll put some of the crew to work on it. Thank you. We must keep focusing on the dog's safety. Without them, the crew stands little chance of safety themselves. Alright. Mr. Zack. I was summoned by Mr. Templeton. Yes, Mr. Isaac, this is regarding your personal item. What do you mean? I felt it's important to let the captain know that you're carrying a weapon. Why'd you bring a gun with you on an expedition, Isaac? Personal safety, of course. Perhaps this is my unfamiliar expeditions, but I was surprised when others did not bring an item to protect themselves. Maybe the crew cannot afford such an item to themselves. Captain, it's up to you to do what to do with this revolver. With all due respect, this is my personal item, Captain. It's Captain's right to relinquish any weapon on the ship that includes your own. That would be more useful in the hands of Cordell for hunts. Very well, Captain. I understand. He now is demoralized, which makes sense. We'll do well without creating an imbalance of power among the crew. I doubt the sailors would take too kindly to such a thing. Grimly. Sure. There's a rumor going around amongst the crew. The Senate ship's haunted by the ghost of Captain Hunt. What a ridiculous tripe. I thought you wanted me to put a stop to it. Absolutely. We not allow rumors like that to run rampant. Confirm my orders. Aye. Crew will be pleased when you stop their stories. It's better allowing fear and superstition to run wild. Aye. Mast was damaged when the ship was being tossed a while back, Captain. Let's get someone to fix it before the Temperance is freed. Freed? Aye, ship could come loose any moment. Paying up to repair the mast is a dangerous task. We don't even know if the ship will sail and the ice clears. It would be worth it though. Someone could get injured, I'd rather avoid that. Suit yourself then. Head to the boiler when you wish to abandon ship. I suggest we do it sooner rather than later, and no, you do not want to call lunch here. But first, this must be done, build the doglows. I mean, we don't need 3 right now, so you want to do this, because you gain 3 extra sledding dogs. Or something like that. But, you do want to do that. You do not want to click this button right here. Right now, it's a bad idea. Just throw 1 in there. We don't need any more. Go down here. 1 crew member's demoralized. Kasha. I need... Actually, no. Mr. Isaac will stay demoralized. I need him. Later. We could charge into 1 more. Because we will crew 1... We will... 1 crew member will no longer be frozen by the end of the week. Alright. Now, right here, I'm going to grab the spice crates. Once per week, feed the hoosh pot to gain 3 food for each sailor with malnutrition or scurvy is nice, as it helps in the worst of times. 40 food or 4 chances to cure each of the members of scurvy. I'm going to take the short-term benefit here. It's not a good idea when you do this, but I have to. Sailors, grab as much coal as possible. Come down to the dip site. She goes, so do we. Abandoned ship. The furnace is torn out from the boiler. We're heading out then? Best tell the lads. Yes, because nobody noticed that we whipped out the boiler. We're moving out. Yes, Captain orders. From now on, we should focus on setting up a campsite on the ice. Leave the equipment hauling for later. No worries, I'll get them to work. They'll have a camp set up before you know it. Love the music in this game. You're taking that with you? Hey. Can't go a day without it, can ya? Oi, the crew like the music. Fair enough, you better get to hauling the lifeboats next. They're a bit more important than an accordion. Aye, I know. Arf, arf. Calm down, Stenberry, we're simply moving out to the ice. Arf. Yes, yes, it's all very exciting. Rest you behave yourselves and be treated next to helping with soup. Well, there we have it. The heart of the ship, being whipped clean from a chest. But it still beats for the crew. How long were you waiting on that one? Well, because it was shite. No time for poetry. Captain, let's get this bloody furnace set up on the ice. You know, I like Hammond. He's my favorite character, because just like me, he loves sarcastic humor. The vote is 1 to 10 fuel here. It makes absolutely no sense to me. Also, I'm not sure why you put everything so far away from the boiler, as literally the closest thing to here is the medical tent / interview tent. Cordell's living quarters are far away. Storage is far away. The housing situation is far away. What are you doing up there? Now's the last chance to get a shot like this. Isn't that dangerous? Don't worry, I've done it before. Don't tell the captain. I already know you did that before. Okay. There. Perfect. Farewell, Temperance. Captain, I hope your new lodgings are to your comfort. If not, I'm afraid you'll have to power through until our rescue. We say goodbye to the Temperance, but our work is far from over. And we aren't going to get anywhere holding on to the anchor. Agreed. You've done well to strip the lower decks of the ship. Perhaps the wildlife should be our next focus. Regardless, we need our wits about us. We stand alone against the ice now. Yes, we do. And finally we have this lovely music that I waited a little while for. Speaking of going out and braving the ice, we have one scout left. Those are the efforts of the Summer Mountain. Now this one's more useful, research an ice crevice. At least I think. I don't actually know. Oh yeah, real quick, let's not do this. Go back. We need to enter the Temperance once more before she sinks. Eventually we can clear out the stuff there, but we can rip these apart, which is far more important to do now. Actually, no, I'll call the crew for dinner first, then I'll do the rest of that stuff. Then we'll end the video. These first couple of weeks are brutally long. The crew have their meal. Crew return to their posts by the time it's still bright outside. Bye. But you have to zoom in real close to do this, because now everything's so scattered and far apart. What do you have in your pocket? What does it matter to you? Hunched over, clenching something, it's suspicious. I'm holding an egg. Egg? Why? Keep my hands warm. Boiled eggs keep heat. That's actually rather ingenious. You know the cold better than you lot anyways. And I swear, when that hook came to swing, Captain Hunt had to pull me down. That was 5, 6 years ago? I had no clue what I was doing. Both of us nearly lost an eye that day. Same expedition, Ward lost his arm. Half the time, I don't think Hunt knew what he was doing either. Sure he did. He seemed a good captain. Aye, he is. Taught us well, no doubt. Did you need something? Just wanted to commend you both for keeping the spirits high. Well, it's business as usual. I can still cook a good meal. Nothing's changed there. Worried about the vote, aren't you? Oh, is that it, Shaw? I don't care about it. I'm genuinely checking in. As you now. Oh, are you now, not as you. Alright, let's leave it at that, Grimly. Nice to see you, Chicken Shaw, but I think it's time the crew called it a night. Grimly walks off. Is there an issue I'm not aware of? Words the ways, Robin. I'm nothing against you, but we sure don't know you either. It's gonna take more than simple pleasantries to earn Grimly's trust. You ever get the feeling you're being watched, Shaw? Couldn't shake the feeling there's a pair of eyes watching me while I was working. Yes, I'm sure there's a terrible, undiscovered beast lurking in the mist. You're bloody funny, aren't you, Captain? I'm not the superstitious sort, believe me. Alright, well. Coal goes in, we stay alive. Just throw one in. Hoosh pot is fine for right now, but I still prefer to throw a few seals in there. Yeah, seals will be our main source of food now. I'm only going to use the soup cans when needed. It's emergency fuel supply. You ever had pancakes, Shaw? Served some Captain Hunt once, and he started to mend them every time. We'll have them early in the ship, though. Those ingredients don't keep long. Well, don't expect me to whip you up anything this late. Alright, and, yeah, Junior is gonna call it for a night. Clive, and, seems you no longer need to find a path to the ice. Aye. Now our focus is finding a safe path to land. The rescue ship will find us out here. And all this ice hold the full year. They could sir then. Evening, Captain. Have you been reading that textbook? I understand if you don't have free time. I have been reading. It's quite the interesting topic. Good. I'd hope you would enjoyed it. I suppose the topic does provide an escape from the ice as well. Then, Cordell. My dogs have been restless all evening. The move to the ice has proven overstimulating. It will settle down eventually. It was good to hear that John recovered from their wounds. That boiler incident was rather dire. Nothing else but take solace in avoiding a life being lost. And I think you two have something to say? I tried to separate my development equipment from your tools as best as I could while setting up. Wouldn't want for any of that to be mixed up, would we? It's quite alright. I hope my work doesn't distract you from your own. We'll just have to make do. I suppose the tent space is chief of our worries. So we should consider ourselves lucky, right? Yes, I suppose. Something wrong? You seem awfully young for the role. I am. I take that you mean you're an overachiever for your age. I never understood why Nutley was always so nervous. Captain, was there anything you miss from home? I don't mean anything important. I'm sure there are people you miss. I mean, small comforts. Does warmth qualify as a small comfort? Well, you're certainly not alone there. I doubt I'll ever grow used to the cold. Personally, I miss tea. Would drink a cup every morning right before sleep. Don't think I'd miss such a simple habit so much. Yes, we do need to get rid of Mr. Zax. Actually, no, isn't there something we can do with our scientist still? I don't remember. Not yet. Alright, talk to you. Captain. On evening like this, my good friend Coraline and I would often play chess by the fireside. Makes me wish I'd brought a board with me. Would have made for some light entertainment. Shame you didn't. I would have enjoyed the game myself. Indeed. Well, can't turn back time, can we? We'll just have to make do with what we have. Perhaps Mr. Templeton brought something along. He seems to jigsaw puzzle short. I don't know if it really does. Good. So the morbid shawl, but our last conversation had me wondering about those children of mine. Specifically, I wonder on whether I'll ever see them again. Something you imagine, I know, but the threat always exists in these expeditions. I signed on knowing that. Are you close with your children? Not to all, and not as close as I should be. Even the youngest is grown now, Shawl. I tend to be a parent come and went. I chose the ice. Miss the water. Got used to playing on the broken ship. Start to feel sick when I'm off too long. First purrs never meant to suffer land sickness. Not normal, I know. Wasn't always like this, just how I turned out. You know, I've always been... Oh yeah, we can't go back in the ship right now, so I will assign a scientist here, as can't go back. And might as well send the rest of the crew out. Hunting penguins. We have Tucker here already, he's just been waiting. He was waiting, and... Tucker, you, and then both the scientists, both the Glossies. Now we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because we have a revolver, which we took from Mr. Isaac. We can shoot the penguins! Nothing better than a good penguin. Wonder how penguin tastes. Everybody's always asking me, Noah, why do you want to eat penguins so bad? Why do you wonder what an alligator tastes like? And I say, well, why wouldn't I? I've never eaten an alligator. What if it tastes good? I don't think anybody actually ever cares, so I'm not sure why they asked me in the first place. Anyways, fuel rations will go down 1. We are running a little low on food, but penguins will have to suffice. If not, emergency fuel rations. Heal demoralization. That's easily cured of his freezing. Week 7, 4 weeks at Temperance Camp. Hi. The ship's not going under yet, right? No, it's not. Food needs to be added to the pot. Throw in all the penguins. Just enough for 1 more day. Take requests. Captain, the Temperance life is short and we're in luck. Some good fortune. The lower decks are flooding quick with its vein. The coal's still usable. We should grab as much as we can before she goes under. Agreed. We must gather as much as possible. We should gather as much as possible. Coal for the furnace. I don't think it's worded correctly, but I'm not sure. Aye, let's get to it. Sure. Those investigated the tin food we picked up from the Temperance. I should have expected this, but the tins were spoiled in the flooding. Is it still edible? You're serious? Can all afford to be too selective, may not be pleasant, but if meaning about poisoning the crew, it may serve as rations. Hard to tell for certain there. Well, it certainly tastes like death, but it may still be edible. The may in this sentence is not too comforting. Food is food, but I'm not sure it's worth the risk. What do you think, Shaw? Not worth the risk. I have no intention of poisoning my crew. I suppose I'm better off avoiding that. One tin of peach is likely isn't worth the risk of poisoning anyways. Grimly. You want some timber, right? Sure. Put a stop to those rumors going on about Hunt. That's simple. The sailors do seem to listen to you. Aye. Not be hearing them whispers again. Captain, I thank you for building some proper shelter for my dogs. I appreciate the assistance from the crew. But the dogs are an important factor in this expedition. I am certain you and Okino are pay us in kind. Not too to worry about that, Mr. Templeton. Again, thank you, Shaw. Alright, no important, quests here. Captain, I'd like to have a word to the wise to join us among our crew. For whatever reason, Hunt allowed a photographer of no standing experience to tail alongside his expedition. As it stands, Kosher Belford's record is what will stand the test of time when this expedition is spoken of. It would seem she has not made eyes with the crew. How so? The sailors of this crew are a private lot. They don't take kindly to prying eyes of a landlubber, as they would say. Remember, Captain, she controls the story. She controls your story. Let's have a word. Remember, Shaw, reputation can be fragile. You don't need an unflattering image at a time like this. Alright. Bloody hell. What was it this time, Tucker? His bloody cigarettes. His bloody cigarettes ain't worth the shit I stepped in. You're the only man I know who can step in shite on ice, mate. Yeah, you're bloody right. Now, there's nothing in the forecastle. There's nothing in the cabin's captain. What we need to be doing is we need to... Yep, here we go. Enter the scientist's room. We need to remove all the research we can. It takes entering the drawers of bottles of valuable research I can find. But for some reason it increases decorum. Nothing I can do here. Or in my old cabin. So we need to descend. I'll still grab some spoiled tin food myself, if need be, to avoid a little bit of starvation. Really ain't that bad. Tear apart the tables. No point going back in any of these rooms. And there's nothing in the red room. Alright, let's stack the coal. Now, we don't need as many scouts as we do sailors. And since nobody's getting frostbite here, we don't need engineers. Yeah, the boiler room is flooded with freezing water, and well, we'll never see inside there again. And this is useless right now, as not spending 5 sailors to get one thing I don't need. Up. Up. Nothing left for me there. Can send the rest of the crew out. We could use a few more penguins now, couldn't we? Well, that's everybody. Perfect. Right, let's zoom in a little. First off, go into the medical tent. Nothing. And listen. When was the last time you slept, Chief? I got a couple hours anyway, Buck. A couple? You're gonna work yourself to death before I even make land. Heard that before, but it hasn't bloody happened yet. Back to work. Guys, we need to throw fuel in the furnace, which we'll use coal for right now. It's just more efficient. We can throw in another without wasting any. And and we don't have any penguins. We have 4 of these, 3 spoiled rations, which we actually can throw these in, and I will, as 1 crew member will be cured of malnutrition. And since all we can do, we might as well call the crew for dinner. The crew have their meal. The crew return to their posts by the time it's still bright light outside. As far as I know, 1 crew member, because we're above the minimum needed, will be cured. The building next to my kennel would often play music on a phonograph, but here through the open window, for months on end, I heard it as I worked. Over time, I'd grown used to it. Do you miss it? To an extent, more so I miss the routine. Dr. Arthur. Miss Templeton. I trust all's going well. Well, as well as it can be. All thanks to your expertise, I take it. I try my best. You continue to do so. We wish not any further incidents. Evening. Got some old tickets in my luggage to a play I planned to see before we departed. Unfortunately, it was delayed due to several accidents. People have begun to say the production was cursed. I never believed in curses, but after this expedition, well... You concerned about missing the play? Well, that's highly concerned after all that's happened, though it was something I was excited for. It's a shame. Alright. You do need to talk to Kasha specifically to continue the story. Kumar approaches you during dinner. Captain, you look like you used somewhere to eat. Taking the responsibility of captain is admirable. Please, help yourself some of my own rations. Frankly, I'm stuffed. Thank you, but there's no need. Oh, well, the offer's always there. Earth Third returns to a seated position as the others in the crew look at Yorick with an annoyed expression. It appeared his attempts at gratifying command was unsuccessful. Shaw, it's been quite some time since we met. When I first met you at the docks, to be honest, I did not understand Hunt's decisions. Are your thoughts different now? That remains to be seen, does it not? I can say I do not see this turn of events ahead of us. Good to see you don't hide away from the crew in the evening, Shaw. Suppose you're more at home far aloft than you were back at land. It's been too long since I've had proper company of sea folk. They're loud, brash, but I can't imagine a life without them. One of Templeton's team tried to talk to me while I was working. They're going on and on about their spouse or something. I ended up telling them to fuck off. I think they got the message. I full permission to do so anytime your work was interrupted. Didn't need your permission, but hey, I know you'd understand. And there I was, face to face with Leopard Jail. Why is that? Why do I find this funny? Dangerous creatures cannot be mistaken for our average seal, you know. Natural hunters, much faster on land than you'd expect. How'd you deal with that then? I was lucky I had my hunting shotgun at the ready. We got feasting on a leopard seal that night, of course. Of all the times the crews weren't filming. Pull the other one. It's true. The other time Kurt continues to ramble off, seems to be at this for quite some time. I have a feeling that what Kurt says is not always true. You're a photo snapped by the photographer too. She's a landlubber for sure. Treating us like we're some sort of novelty. I don't have much problem with it. Good conversation at least. I'd rather less good conversation out here. As you pass by, you see Kasha adjusting her camera as she stands. Partially obstructed as she finds the right angle for a shot. You step to her side, she raises her head and looks at you. Why don't you turn the cam proper? Trying to get a proper angle, of course. Sometimes something that really captures Kurt's height and personality. I suppose a close-up would be best, but never mind. Intimidated? Of course not. Why would I be intimidated? Is it really that obvious? It's simply that I followed Kurt's expeditions a lot as a child. Seeing him in person is odd. Kurt doesn't bite. He certainly barks quite loudly at that, but you're right, I'm just being nervous. It's more that up to now. He's been an idea? Does that make any sense? Kurt's just another person like you or I suppose. Well, leave you be, I'm still looking for the right shot. Did I talk to Cordelia? No. The dogs need his arrest. As do I, as do you. Right. Been trying to come up with new songs. Something about seals, I'm thinking. Hard to think of, though. Winds are distracting. But I haven't had a new song in a while. The creative sort, then. I suppose. Don't write anything down, it's just off the top of my head. I'm not married, are you, Shaw? Take it from me. If you ever do find yourself wedded, it's never as easy as it looks. The matrimony behind Kurt, only as happy as the unhappiest man. Only as good as the unhappiest man. Oh, you're right. Suppose just follow my own advice. Oh. That photographer, Belfold. What about her? Has she come around snooping your tent as well? I caught her prying a couple times. I guess she found nothing on you? No, she did not. We can all learn the same from you, Tasha. I'm pretty sure Tasha's supposed to be important. He's supposed to be important to the story, but so far I haven't found nothing. Yeah, so as you see, we do need normal fuel rations and normal food. That's why I've been saving by going down to here, which honestly, I can do this, and I will, because I can cure people freezing with one member of crew who I not have to spend anymore on normal things. Never do none, though. It's not worth the loyalty loss. It's not easy to get back. So it became... Oh, that's right. People become freezing on fled hunts. I forgot. I think it's only one person per sled hunt. Yeah, one person per sled hunt. That's only 3. So at the end of this week, one person will be frozen. No, one of them was cured of their freezing. We only need 1 engineer on this. But yes, it's gonna do it for today's video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and go follow me on Rumble. Hope you all enjoyed. Until next time, goodbye and thanks for watching. Bye.